First and foremost, I would like to say sometimes God will ruin your plans so that your plans don't ruin you. The truth is, we know what we're capable of doing. We get irritated with ourselves when we know that we're spending more time in our phones, more time comparing ourselves to others, more time, battling with other people who is trying to compete with you for no reason. Just negativity, anything. It is distracting you from your true purpose, who you are supposed to be, what you're supposed to do, and all that good stuff. So I want to put heavy emphasis on, if this is not your hermit season, if this is not your season to be in a space where you are ducked off from the world in that sense, as far as social media, Instagram, is what I'm talking about, then do not take this message. This message is for whoever's been feeling called to go within and to do this work to become the best version of themselves. If you know that you've been called to do it and you're just like, not sure, this is your confirmation. Because one thing I've learned is that if you're scrolling past this video and you see it and you've been thinking about this is a confirmation to you to go ahead and lock in with yourself for the next 6 months to a year to become your best self. Many content creators are taking the big break from IG, if you haven't noticed. And you're probably asking someone like myself, who's been over on IG for almost 2 years now consistently, why I've decided to take the break from Instagram. And the truth of the matter is, it has become a huge distraction for me, not only, but it's become a mental roadblock for me. It's become a place where I'm no longer feeling fulfilled, and every day I'm having to fight for my happiness. Let's just be honest. Instagram is a place for popular people. If you know what it's like to be in high school, and you know what it's like to deal with the popular kids and then the quiet kids or the shy kids or the autistic kids, you know what I'm saying? Instagram is just like that. You have to have tough skin to be over on Instagram if you are going to take that platform seriously. But back to what I was saying. Taking a break from Instagram for me has been basically a rebrand. I'm learning new things about myself, and I'm learning that there's certain habits, certain routines that I am no longer benefiting from. And many would say, oh, well, how about you evolve with, the process, evolve with it. Well, a lot of us are realizing that Instagram is the problem. It's not just necessarily that, there's something within us that we need to fix. Instagram is causing the problem within us. And a lot of us are becoming highly aware of it. We're realizing that the platform is manipulating many of their creators into being on the platform for extreme long periods of time, to the point where they're burning out. And then they're getting crumbs and basically like nothing for their efforts. It's based off of popularity, is what I'm trying to say. It's not based on how good you are. It's based on popularity. So it doesn't matter if you have a good heart. It doesn't matter if your intentions are pure. What matters is it feeding into the system and the things that they want to push, right? So you're not going to win in that department. You know what I'm saying? Now, don't get me wrong, there's a few select people who are going to win over there. But like I said, holy shizness. There's a swarm of bugs. Now let's get this, let me make sure I speak on this clearly. There are a lot of successful creators, right, that are doing well for themselves. However, they are doing what works, right? They're doing what works. A lot of us are being forced to go up against how we truly feel, we're going up against what's truly fulfilling us to do the thing that works. And a lot of people are going to achieve that. But a lot of people who are pure-hearted, a lot of people who have good intentions, a lot of people who know that ain't right, it don't feel right, it's making me feel unfulfilled, we're not going for it. A lot of people aren't going for that fake dopamine hit just to feel like crap 2 days later, because that's what's going to happen. It's going to feel good the minute you receive the hit, and then 2 days later you're going to feel like shit. That's not fulfillment. That's not happiness. When you are getting that hit and then days later you're feeling like crap, that is like a number one sign you are not where you're supposed to be at, because we're doing what works and we're not doing what's fulfilling us on a soul level. Don't get me wrong, we start out doing what we feel called, right? And then what happens is we'll continue to do the thing that works. For example, like say you are a talented singer, and you drop like 3 songs in a week, and you just test it and you trying out different ways, you know what I'm saying, different rhythms, different beats, and then you have one hit. Now you're conditioned to think, well, that's the only way I can do it now, because that's what's working. And then what happens is you stay in this loop of doing what works and not allowing yourself to be stretched, to be challenged, to step out of your comfort zone. You get in this repeated cycle of being comfortable in what's working and not what's fulfilling you. I don't know if anybody else is feeling this shift, but the shift is definitely taking place as far as the real and the fake, and everything is being exposed, and it's crumbling in our faces, literally. And it's just interesting because it's like, I don't even want to be in that space when I know that whole tower is about to fall down. I don't even want to be in that space. I'd rather take this time to figure out what's next, and to master the need to be seen. We don't have to be seen to be successful. We've been tricked into thinking that we have to show up, drain ourselves of our energy to be successful, when God gave us the gift of being who we are and not even needing to work as hard as we think we do and still be successful if you are in alignment with what God has for you. And sometimes God will knock that stuff down to get your attention, and you thinking, oh man, you know what I'm saying, you're thinking it's bad luck the whole time. God don't even want you over there no way. And if God knocked your tower down this season, it was for a reason. Best believe it. And the longer you stay in this cycle, the longer you are being distracted from what you are meant to be doing. It is to distract you from your purpose. And so I'm huge on taking the break when feel called to do so, and to focus on what's more fulfilling to you. A lot of us are being called to pivot. If you are being called to pivot, you already kind of know what that thing is. This is just a confirmation. Instagram is going to always be there. And I believe that we've been so tricked out of feeling like we're going to miss out on something, feeling like we're going to miss out on our chance to win in life, because we think Instagram is that platform where we're going to be successful at, and that may not be your platform. You know what I'm saying? Maybe YouTube is your platform. Maybe YouTube is where you are supposed to be at. Maybe you're supposed to have a podcast. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Who knows? All I know is we've been tricked. And I'm going to go further into details about my experience over on Instagram, because I just want other people who are looking to take Instagram serious to understand what you are getting yourself into this year, as far as just finances, mental, you know what I'm saying, physically, emotionally. Are you willing to put yourself through this roller coaster ride of up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, and then being forced to neglect who you are for likes, to be accepted, because that's what it is. Let's be honest. We are chasing the likes. We're chasing the engagement. So if something works and you know damn well that it's not in alignment with who you are, you're going to keep doing what works, because you're like, in your mind, you're like, well, this is successful, so maybe I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. No, you're not. No, you're not. It's a disrespect. It's a slap in the face to who you are as a person and your purpose, to be honest with you. As far as finances go, they don't pay you. The money, if you're doing it for the money, go on over to YouTube. Go on over to YouTube. It's going to be way well worth it, I promise you. Go over on YouTube. Matter of fact, Threads is paying too. Take your butt on over to Threads. Take your butt on over to YouTube and get up off of Instagram, because Instagram is just where you show yourself to be seen. It's where you're getting validation from. If you want to continue to chase the validation, go on over on Instagram. That's all. Another thing, and another hard lesson that I had to learn in this season is that your real life is more important than the artificial one. We've been tricked into thinking that we have to clock in to the social media account and clock out of our reality. And a lot of people are living in a false reality, and they've disconnected themselves from their true reality, which is why a lot of us are sad, depressed, and dealing with anxiety and health issues, because we've completely neglected our surroundings, our real life, to show up for this false life. And now we're sick. Now we're exhausted because we've neglected ourselves. And so I just want to put heavy emphasis on that, because that was something that I had to go through in this season of my life, and I don't want nobody to have to go through that. Spend time in your real life doing things that make you happy, like hobbies, time with your family, the park, just tapping into your senses and enjoying the small things, because I believe that the small things are more important than social media. Taking this time to find out who you are on a deeper level, even if you already know yourself, you can never do too much research, too much work on yourself. You can never do too much work on yourself. And I believe that taking the time to study your new hobbies, because we're going to always be evolving, studying how to be disciplined, to how to control your emotions, to eat properly, to have prayer time with God, which is extremely important. That was something that I had to learn in this season too. If God is trying to get your attention and you too focused on your success and too focused on money and too focused on what you want for yourself, God is not going to bless you. He's not. It's going to feel like you may be in a spot where you're getting ready to hit your big thing, and then you're going to have a roadblock. You're going to have a roadblock, and you're going to be like, what is going on? God's not going to let you get too far without him. I'm just letting you know that now. You think you got it in control, but you don't. Having a powerful relationship, a deep relationship with God is key. And that was something that I had to learn in this season of my life. And it's crazy because I'm going to go deeper into my vulnerability here, and I'm going to share this because I feel like it's important for me to share. Spirituality was one of those things that I just wasn't very comfortable with discussing, comfortable with even understanding. I didn't understand it. That's the word. I didn't understand spirituality. I was raised by my grandmother and my grandfather who were Christian. However, my mother married my stepfather, who they both became Jehovah's Witnesses when I was a child. And so when I did go home with my mom taught me different spirituality things than my grandmother did. So I was just very confused growing up, because my grandmother, like I said, my grandparents raised me, but they raised me this way, and then when I go home with my mom, it's another way. And so I was just very confused. And not even just to top it all off, my mom's family comes from 4 generations of witches. So I had a hard time really understanding spirituality. And so once I hit my first dark night of the soul, was what they call it, I went down a dark path, and I ended up falling into the hands of the New Age spirituality. And I was in the New Age spirituality from about 2018 until 2023. And let me tell you what I learned. So when it comes to spirituality, the lessons that I had to learn was that everybody's spiritual lesson is different. And it's not my job to talk you into being or accepting Jesus Christ as your Savior. Okay? All I can do is give you my story and inspire. And, you know what I'm saying? That's God's job. What I'm trying to say is the lessons you go through in life is from God. And it's God's job to bring you back to Him through those lessons. Now, along the way, you'll see other people's stories, you'll see other people's lessons, and you'll hear them. And it may or may not be a confirmation for you. That's what I'm trying to say. So when it came to spirituality, I'm going to be very vulnerable about this with you guys. And this is my story now, okay? When I got to dabbling in New Age spirituality, I went down a really dark path. And let's just say the dark path that I went down required me to go back down the dark path when it came to returning to God. I thought that when you go through, these periods of darkness, that you can just ask God for forgiveness and repent, and that everything will be okay again. And that's not true. I had to learn that you have to go the same way you came. And so it's very painful. It's very, very it's more painful going back than it is going down it, because it's like God's way of whooping you all the way back down that road till you get back to Him. And so once you get back to God, it's God's way of saying, not necessarily to punish you, but it's His way of saying, have faith in me. You took your faith out of my hands and you wanted to go your own way. So now you have to prove to me that you have faith in me. And so you have to go back down that dark path to prove to God that you do indeed have faith in Him this time around. And it's the most painful test. I can't really even put it into words unless you've been through it. I used to play with spirits, you know what I'm saying, communicate with my ancestors, that thought, until I realized that they were trickster spirits, y'all. They're trickster spirits. That's why when you communicate with them and then you do what they say, it's still confusing. You're still confused. You're still unsure. You're still depressed. You're still just clouded. And it's because it's not authentic. It's not from who you think it is. It feels pure. It feels light. It feels beautiful when you're playing in it, until you do that thing or you think that you're right on spot and then you're at a roadblock. Like, why? And when I say I was playing in that mess, y'all, I mean, I was doing tarot, I was doing sound bowl healing, I was doing it all. Like, I'm talking about all of it. I was tapping into, even looking into like the Orisha, like, y'all, I was playing in that stuff. And when I say it ain't pretty when you get ready to cleanse yourself and get back right with God. When I say I've been crying, y'all, and one thing I struggle with is really expressing my emotions on camera. I'm a private crier. But when I say I've been on my knees crying for a year, you know what I'm saying? Because what happened was I ended up getting into a situation where I needed God. I knew that I was not fighting this battle without God. And I knew that I've been tested along my journey in the spiritual realm. And I knew that witchcraft wasn't going to cut it. It wasn't going to cut it. You feel me? And we all know how witchcraft get down. Karmic law is coming back regardless. It's going to keep coming back. So I knew in order for me to fight this battle, and I knew that it would be done after the battle was fought, and I didn't have to worry about it coming back to me months, years later, I had to go to God. One thing about witchcraft is you can play in it if you want to, But best believe that energy is coming back. Even if you was in the right, it's coming back. If you give it to God, it ain't coming back. Is your hands clean? And so I realized I need God in this situation. So I had to go through a year of traumatic experience just to get God's help in a situation. And I want to be able to, next time when I'm in a situation and I know my hands is clean, that God is going to come rescue me. You know what I'm saying? And I know this got off a little bit topic, but you know what? It needed to be discussed. It was put on my heart. I had to go ahead and share. Somebody needed that message. You feel me? But back to, being your higher self, tapping into your higher self in your solitude, period. Understand you're not missing out on nothing. You're not missing out on nothing. You hear me? Like, we are being tricked. Our time, our energy is being stolen from us. It's not a hurry. When that time is supposed to come for you to win, it's going to happen for you. And a lot of this is getting right with yourself in your inner world. And a lot of times we're being distracted by getting right with that inner self, with our inner world, with our connection with God, because of the things that's the worldly shit, like Instagram. And one thing I like about YouTube, and one thing, like, for real, is that, like, I can create this piece of content and I don't have to show up and perform daily, you know what I'm saying, and exhaust myself to see a payout. Like, no, I could post this and go on about my life. Share my little stories, update my people, what's going on. And don't worry about people unfollowing you. Like, we get so caught up in building this platform, and then we're like, oh my God, we're going to lose it all. So if it ain't for you and it ain't going to be connected to your purpose, then it don't matter. It's irrelevant. See, I had a hard time with accepting the fact that I worked so hard up until this point and feeling like I'm losing it all. But the truth of the matter is, you learned something. We think that just because something don't go right and we don't become successful at it, that we've lost. No. Did Beyonce win after the 30th time? No. Like, you're going to lose more than you win. And we've got to accept that. We've got to accept that our lessons in life is going to always exceed our wins. That's how you win. You got to go through all them failures. And we be thinking that's when we're supposed to stop. No, that ain't when you're supposed to stop. That's when you're supposed to take what you learn and apply it. That's it. Like, followers don't mean nothing if they're not there for you, and they're not willing to stick around to experience the healed version of yourself. That means they need to go with the unhealed version of you. Bye. But anyways, this is the message that I had today. I hope that it helped somebody out there. Please comment down below your experiences if you are deciding to take a break from Instagram. And I know this got off a little bit. And if you're a private person, trust me, I get it. You gotta be down days. You feel me? I'm being vulnerable with y'all, but not everybody is put in that position to be vulnerable. Take the message for what it is. I truly appreciate you for being here. Until next time, y'all. Peace.